With us now to continue our conversation is Megan Hayes, former special assistant to President Biden and former director of message planning, and Matthew Dowd, chief strategist for the Bush-Cheney 2004 presidential campaign and a senior MSNBC political analyst. So, Megan, I want to start with these battleground polls. They're just a snapshot in time, but it's a snapshot of a time when clearly Harris' campaign has momentum. They're actually now going into the DNC, which could even increase their momentum, give them another bump. Is this something that you think could hold?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not just these polls in the battleground states. I think there was a poll recently today or yesterday that came out that showed that Americans trust Vice President Harris more on the economy than they did Donald Trump. Those are important markers for the campaign. These are important things to keep moving the momentum forward. I'm one of those people that you can't live and die by the polls because they are just a marker in time. But it shows that they have the momentum. It shows that they are, gaining the support with organizing, financial backing, and all their fundraising efforts. And going into the DNC, they are set up to have a really good fall with all this momentum at their back.
So how do you, Megan, as a professional, how do you orient or focus the campaign going forward to keep that momentum and to translate that momentum into actual votes on the 5th of November?
When the vice president took over, they had over, 1,200 employees on the ground in battleground states that are going knocking on doors and organizing and doing all of the hard work so that the actual infrastructure of the campaign was in place and ready to go before the president steps aside. So they will just continue to move those folks forward into to continue to knock doors. And now they just have more people that have volunteered and more money that will help them organize. And so they just need to be in these states and they need to be talking to voters. And she needs to be out there and Governor Walz needs to be out there and they need to define who they are and introduce themselves to America and continue to show what they're going to do to move the country in the next 4 years and what their vision is.
Matthew, when you see both of these organizations, the Harris-Walz organization that really inherited a lot of it from the president's organization, right, reelection campaign, and then you see the Trump-Vance organization. Matthew, how do you see those two organizations per se, and how do you think they'll each be handling the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think all political campaigns, as Megan knows, are reflective of who's at the top of the ticket. And there's two elements of a campaign that are, I think, the most crucial part of it. One is message discipline, how the candidates and the campaign stays on message. And the second part is organization, your infrastructure in the states, as Megan talked about, the number of volunteers you recruit, how you operate, all of that. In both of those cases, the Harris-Walz ticket is way ahead. They're much more ahead on message discipline because Trump just can't stay on message. It's just not in his capability. And two, when you look at the analysis of who's got organizations in the given states, the Harris-Walz is way far ahead. And so to me, in the less than 85 days left, where each day is actually, you have to try to win each day, the Harris-Walz effort today is much better positioned to win each day or win more days of the 85. Trump has to catch up in both organization, and he has to figure out a way not to be his chaotic self and establish some level of message discipline.
Message discipline for Donald Trump is no doubt going to be a very difficult hurdle to pass. I mean, this is what Trump said, for example, Matthew, in his conversation with Elon Musk just the other night. Listen to this.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone.
So this is, Matthew, this is what we're talking about. But the UAW then filed a federal labor charge against Trump and Musk for illegal attempts to threaten and intimidate workers. How does he stay on message? Like, for example, the whole message of Trump has been, I reach out to the rank and file union members, maybe not the leadership. But is this going to, for example, have an impact on those voters?
Well, the first thing I would say is you don't go to a platform hosted by Elon Musk to establish message discipline. That is your first problem. So Elon Musk is not the best place to establish what you want. The second thing is he's now done this key states in this election, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada. Arizona, all have this dominant force of union workers that if they're activated and enthusiastic behind a candidate, which is what they seem to be moving towards with Harris Walz, it's a very, very huge problem from Donald Trump. And I noticed this morning, the Teamsters president who appeared at the Republican National Convention, who seemed to at times be playing footsies with Donald Trump, ripped into Donald Trump this morning about that exact interview, saying, how can you talk that you're going to be pro-worker and pro-that when you take pleasure, you seem to take pleasure in firing people. And so it's another example of maybe Donald Trump thinks it's message discipline because he's going out of his way to piss as many people off as possible. So maybe that's some level of discipline, but it's not helpful to his campaign.
Megyn, I want to meanwhile play for you what Trump said in an interview last night about his plans to deport millions of undocumented immigrants in the United States if he's reelected. Listen to this.
You have to give the local police the authority. Our local police know everything about the criminals that have come into our country. They know their names and their middle name. They know where they lived, what country they came from. We'll work with the local police, and we have to get them out.
Megyn, I just was wondering your thoughts on this, because it's not only a line of attack against Democrats, it's also a specific policy position that includes the deportation of millions of people.
Well, I think that his fundamental premise here is wrong. A lot of the people who are coming into our country are not criminals and don't deserve to be treated that way. And they are people and they are coming here for a better life. So no one is arguing that there needs to be comprehensive immigration reform, more border security. No one is saying that there shouldn't be. And no one is saying that we should be working towards that, which the Democrats did try to do. But to refer to people coming here as criminals, and it's just degrading to people. And it's just not a way you should talk to folks. And it's just another way that people need to listen to what Donald Trump is saying. He is telling people exactly how he feels, whether it's about union workers, whether it's about immigrants coming here from other countries. He is telling people exactly how he feels about people and exactly what he will do. People just need to listen.